think it's the greatest 2 days in racing in the world.
Well, the Breeders' Cup for us, or for me, is the Olympics.
Tepin is now the leader as they race into the final furlong of the mile.
This is the 32nd Breeders' Cup World Championships.
People that really love racing, I mean, they all want to come to the Breeders' Cup. They want to be there. The enthusiasm for it is just, I mean, it was phenomenal.
For many owners and trainers in the U.S., Canada, England, Ireland, France, they began thinking about the Breeders' Cup on January the 1st, trying to figure out how to get their best horses into these rich championship races that we've all come to love.
Kentucky is the home of breeding. All the Kentuckians are all, it seems like everybody's in the horse business at Kentucky. And Keeneland's a boutique racetrack, and it runs a boutique schedule in the spring and the fall. And it has people come from all over America, you know, to watch the races there. It's always packed. Everybody wanted to have a horse racing in that Breeders' Cup that year. I mean, we certainly did, you know, and we really didn't think we had a chance of winning. You know, you're running a filly against the Colts for the first time.
We start with the filly Tepin, number 7, currently 5-1.
We saw her on our air here October the 3rd at Keeneland win the First Lady Stakes on soft footing by 7 lengths. The race of her life. If she repeats that, she can win. Marke Casse said, we feel at a mile she's as good as any horse in North America.
She kind of showed that she was something special at, you know, even early on. But I think she matured a lot from 3 to 4. She got beat by horses even on the grass as a 3-year-old that would never beat her again later on.
I think we started to really know how good she was going to be. She came back, won an allowance at Gulfstream, and then we took her to Churchill, and she was 15-1, and she won that grade 2 on Derby Day. And then we were going, yeah, she's something special. And then she wins Adjusted Game in Belmont. And then, you know, it just kept rolling.
Once we figured out, you know, she's a miler, and we kind of figured out how to manage her, then the sky was the limit.
When she won the First Lady, I thought, you know what, we might win the Breeders' Cup.
And you know what should be said is that as much as Dad and I love Keeneland, Tepin probably loved Keeneland more than us. She had a real affinity for this particular turf course. I think you could go back and see her race record and see that.
The gem, that is Keeneland. The focus of racing fans this weekend as it hosts the Breeders' Cup World Championships for the first time.
As a trainer, you're always worried. It doesn't matter how good you think you are.
She's going to give us her best effort. Whatever that's going to be, it's going to be, you know. And I knew if she could break well and get in her position, that she was going to have a really good race.
They're off in the Breeders' Cup Mile. Obviously did not have a good start and will not go to the front, at least not yet. Tepin is out of the gate quicker, and there goes Obviously now on the outside.
I didn't want her on the lead, so the speed horse then came and took the lead. I thought, okay, now she's just laying on the hip, laying off that horse, and that's when she runs the best. And I thought she was in an ideal spot. I thought the fractions were perfect for her, going a mile. And I thought if she's herself, she's going to have a big day.
Obviously heads into the far turn in front by 1.5 lengths. Tepin at a perfect stalking position, second on the outside. They're into the stretch. Tepin takes on Obviously. Tepin to the front. Tepin is now the leader as they race into the final furlong of the mile.
At the top of the stretch, she kicked away. And I let myself think for a second, oh my God, she's going to win the Breeders' Cup Mile. But then I realized we've been in this position before where she's been nailed right on the wire at Saratoga. So I didn't let myself know or believe that she had won until she crossed the wire, even though she was open by daylight.
When she opened up. She opened up by 5 at one point in time. And then he just hand rode her to the finish line. And, another horse was coming, but we were so excited. We were all jumping up and down and screaming and hollering because we knew she was going to win. When she went up by 5, I said, nobody's going to catch her now.
Look at Tepin! Tepin! Oh, she was huge today!
Mark, you got your first Breeders' Cup win after a long time yesterday. You didn't waste much time getting your second one, did you?
Oh, no. I mean, this was sweet. This was sweet.
Why is this so sweet?
Just to see, she's just such a good horse and how she's come along. And you know, there's been a lot said of how good she's gotten, and I like to think that I had something to do with it, but my son.
Your son, Norm? Means a lot, huh?
Well, and it was extra special for us too, father and son, right? To do it together. I've always, now see, I'm gonna start
Why'd you do it?
getting emotional.
That really was the pinnacle at that time for Dad and us. That race solidified everything we had ever wanted. And so it was more than just winning the race with Tepin. It was everything at that time. And it was, it's a day I'll never forget, that's for sure.
You saw the picture of the winner's circle, how many people were in it. I mean, people were wanting her to win, you know, the filly against the boys.
You work all the time, whether it's at the sale or talking to owners on the phone or doing some sort of hustling, getting up in the morning, training horses. You're doing it just so you can have that moment, and they don't happen very often. So when they do, listen, you can't reproduce it. It's an excitement that you can't explain.
I think Norman now probably understands it more because he used to hear it from me all the time. But the morning, going out and doing, you know, watching the horses train and do, that's just a little part of our job, and it never goes away. It never stops, and so yeah, you need those things. That's what keeps you going.
You do it.
Yeah, it keeps you going.
I've always raced about 7 horses in my name. I've always raced fillies. I've always gone back to Fasig-Tipton in August and go to Keeneland in September. None of that changed. Still do it, still buy them, still race them. Just haven't been fortunate enough to have another Tepin.
For Norman and I, number one.
It's definitely number one.
Number one.
That was the day that, we got made.
It's a very, very big deal in the horse racing business. It sits up there, the top 5 things that have happened in my life. Besides those grandkids I got.
For second, but Tepin and Julia LaPeroux have dominated the Breeders' Cup.